Hi Paly, I'm Frankie Comey with the Paly Voice, and we're running a series of interviews with our principal, Kim Diorio. And we want to know your questions for her. If you have questions, tweet at the Paly Voice or use the hashtag #AskDiorio or talk to one of our staff members. The Board of Education unanimously voted Tuesday night to approve the new school calendar, as I'm sure you know, and that'll feature a Monday start for high school students. What are your thoughts about this new schedule?
So I was a little disappointed to hear about the Monday start. Personally, I was in favor of the Thursday start, just in terms of what works best for students. I think at the high school level, having 5 days of classes coming, as the start of the school year is a challenge and rather exhausting. So the Thursday start appealed to me because it was a nice way to kind of get your feet wet and dip your toes in the water before we started the full week. I think, that said, I understand the need of the board to compromise and that there are varying points of view on this issue and that they need to think of our district as a system K-12, and I know that there are many elementary families that preferred the latest start possible in terms of their own family schedules. So, with any decision that the Board of Ed makes, we're behind it. We'll move forward and we'll do the best that we can to adjust and make sure we're meeting the needs of our students.
Speaking to that, the high school students and the elementary school students, we do have separate calendars with this new change, and the middle school. So do you think that's, what are your thoughts on that, having different calendars for each education level?
Yeah, I understand the rationale behind the thinking, why they differentiated the start dates at the different levels, and I do think it's going to be trickiest for families that have students that are kind of caught both at the middle school and the elementary school. But I'm not sure it's going to have a big impact on us as a system. So I was more concerned about the fact that it's 5 days of instruction in a row. I would have loved to even start it on a Tuesday, but that didn't happen. I do think the idea of having a day in January for teachers to work on grades after the winter break was a nice concept, and I understand the concerns some families had about ending our final second semester right after Memorial Day weekend was also a concern. So again, I trust the process. I trust that there were a lot of different points of views taken into account, and the board had to make the best decision that they thought for the greater good of our entire district and community. You mentioned 5 C days. I don't think we would ever do 5 C days at Paly that first week of school, and I wouldn't want students to worry about that unnecessarily. So maybe that's something I can make really clear right now. Yeah, that's something we're going to start planning in January now that we know the calendar. We'll start planning for what the opening of school will look like on our end and how we can best meet the needs of students. My thinking is we just start a regular week. We start the first day as a Monday C day, and then Tuesday we're into our blocks. Now we'll have some conversation about that with our teachers, with students, with parents, to make sure everybody is on board with that thinking. But really, we want to do what's going to be best for kids and for teachers. I don't think 5 days of C days is healthy for anybody.